Back to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. Where do Filipinas go when they want to meet a foreigner? If a young lady is interested in meeting a Western man or foreigner, what's the best place to do it? I want to have that discussion today, but I also want to have the discussion about putting to rest a myth that's raised this ugly head over here, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So where does she go? Does she go to the mall? Does she go to the nightclubs? Does she just sit around waiting for a foreigner to pop up and introduce themselves? Absolutely not. When a Filipino wants to meet a foreigner, she goes online. It makes sense, right? Because now her chances of meeting somebody who's going to change her life, which is what she wants, is exponentially higher because there's more people online than are coming over here. Would anybody argue with me about that? Absolutely not. But not only that, but she gets a chance to vet you. Remember, we always talk about vetting Filipinos. Well, they vet us too, but they vet us in a different way. See, they're really looking to get lucky. They're looking to hit the jackpot. And she wants to make sure, above everything else, that you're going to have the money, you're going to have the resources to change her life. Because all the other stuff, yeah, it means something, but it's not as important as that. Because it's 18 to 80 blind, crippled, or crazy. Does she care if you got good character? Absolutely. You're not going to mistreat and all that. But look, don't fool yourself. She wants to know, can you change my life? Can you give me the visa? Can you buy me the house and lot or whatever? Because now online, she's going to have the courage, a little bit more courage to ask you the questions that she wants answers to. She's not going to do that in person. See, that's the myth I want to lay to rest with this video too. That men are coming over here, meeting women on the street, and that's the best way to do it. Oh, and stay away from the dating sites, right? I say stay away from the dating sites. Stay away from here, period, if you don't know what you're doing. But 98% of men meet the women on a dating site. But all of a sudden, there's this stigma that's being attached to meeting women online. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. It's like you're less than. Oh, you don't have to do that. Oh, you're a simp. There's something wrong with it. No, that's where they are. That's where you're going to meet a woman over here. Okay? Is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible to meet a woman on the street. But if you do meet a woman on the street, if she's comfortable enough to talk to you and carry on a conversation and get to know you on the street, it's because she's already got a profile online. But this is what I want to put to rest, guys. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I was talking to Captain Jim the other day. Shout out to Captain Jim. Y'all gave the man hell, but I'm going to tell you something about Captain Jim. And I said it on the video. What I admired about him, he speaks freely, man. He speaks his mind. A lot of men don't do it. We're cowards today, man. We're afraid that we're going to hurt somebody's feelings. We're afraid that somebody's going to disagree with us. You know, give that man some credit. Give him some support, because you're going to learn more from people like that who you don't like, who you don't agree with. It's the same as I learn a lot more from my failures than I do my successes. But anyway, we were having a conversation, and I asked him, I don't think I asked him on the interview, maybe the day before we were at lunch. And I was like, yeah, he said that, yeah, you can. I asked him, can you meet a woman over here without going online? And it's crazy answer he gave me. He said, oh, yeah. He says it's actually easier. He says, I met half of the women, over half the women I met over here, I didn't meet online. But what's so crazy is the woman that he's with now, that they've had a baby together and his living partner, he met online. Okay, that make sense to me. Okay, but I just want to talk about this today because I want to push this. There's no stigma to this, guys. Don't feel less than. The vloggers you see, the men you see over here with the women, they met them online because that's the best way. That's the best place for her to meet a foreigner. This just not mean foreigners coming over here. I was talking to a young guy. He's 24. He's down in Cebu. It's his first time. He's staying in IT Park. The first time ever comes to the Philippines. It's like, man, the one thing that shocks me, he says, I don't see that many foreigners over here like they make it seem online. And I say, yeah, because it's not. I said, it takes a whole lot to, it takes a certain type of man to get on that plane and fly this far. I said, that trip is brutal. But he noticed it right away. There's not that many people coming over here in, relative to the amount of women that are on those dating sites. So when you ask the question, because I just wanted to turn it around, you see the videos, where to meet the best Filipino, how. So I just said, let me turn this around and say, where do Filipinas go to meet foreigners? If a Filipino woman wants to meet a foreigner, what's the best place to meet one? It's online, guys. Facebook, TikTok, of course, the dating sites. Her odds of meeting somebody that's going to change her life are exponentially larger. She runs a better chance. The women, I guarantee you, who meet these guys on the street, a lot of times they strike out. They don't have what she wants them to have, first and foremost, because for some reason, men think that it's their youth and their good looks that get women over here. You're not a woman. That's what gets women their dates, but not you. Not over here. Okay? But for some strange reason, this is what we think. So they say, oh, I don't need to pay a woman, or I don't need to spend any money, or I don't need to go on a dating site. I'm young, I'm good looking, look at me, I'm in great shape. Doesn't matter, guys. That's not what they're looking for. The women on those dating sites are looking for a way out. Women on Facebook groups and all that stuff, they're looking for a way out. They're not looking for love, man. She's lying to you. And the number one thing they always want to do is throw the Filipino man under the bus. That's the easy way. Oh, because you're going to ask her, well, why you want to date a foreigner? Because she knows that what you're thinking. You just want my money. So she's going to say, no, I'm tired of dating Filipino men. And they this and they that. It's not true. Okay. I think I talked about this before. 93% of married black women have a black spouse. And it's higher over here. I want to say it's 95%. Because I looked it up before. I didn't look it up for this video. But yeah, 95% of married Filipinos have a Filipino spouse. Okay? So these men aren't the monsters that the women we meet make them out to be. But yeah, there's no need for you to be embarrassed. Okay, if you really want to meet a nice woman, that's where they are. Is there ways to do it? Yeah, you can't just get on the dating site and meet a woman. The minute you log in, you're going to be just inundated with notifications, messages, and all that. And this is where men get off track. But if I ask 100 Filipinos who are interested in dating a foreigner, 100 out of 100 are going to say, we go online to do it. And it's a good thing that they do because that's where they are, guys. That's where the men are. They're online. So thank y'all so much for stopping by. This just came across my mind today. This stigma of meeting women online has got to be thrown in the garbage. There's nothing wrong with that over here. I'm not going to come 8,000 miles and try to jump off the plane and run up to these women, because the way you approach them, remember, you're not in your own country. Because that's another crazy thing people say. Oh, well, if you have trouble with meeting women in your country, you're going to have trouble meeting women anywhere. No, you're not in your country anymore. You're in the Philippines. But if you think that you're 55, 60, 65, doesn't matter how you look, okay? And you're going to come over here and run up on some woman at the mall, at the nightclub, or just sitting around in the province somewhere waiting on you to introduce yourself, man. You got another thing coming, guys. This is the reason why I do videos. I do real life videos. I'm trying to really give you the 411 about what's going on over here. And dating is always at the top. So go ahead and, create you a profile. Do it with pride, because that's the only way you're going to meet a woman over here. I've never met a woman on the street that I ended up staying with. Every woman I've ever met online not only would make a good wife, but did become good wives. Okay, the character, everything. That's just where they are. And in my opinion, I believe that's where they want us to meet them. I believe the powers to be over here want us to meet them online, because you don't want to be running up in the face of these young women. They don't want you to do it. They want to do it discreetly. Imagine a 70-year-old man running up on a 25-year-old woman in a mall. You're going to embarrass her, man. She may never be able to recover from that. And then how are you going to know whether she's interested in dating a foreigner or not? You're not going to know. But the women on the dating site, they have the flashing red light. They say, okay, I'm willing. Let me hear your story. Because they're vetting us like we vet them. They just vet us for different reasons. Do you have what it takes to change my life? To provide for me, to get me out of the situation I'm currently in? That's what they're vetting you for. You're vetting them on, oh, she a scammer. When I get over there, is she going to have me robbed and set up? How good looking is she? How young is she? Or how old is she? It's a totally different ball game. But I wanted to lay that to rest. Guys aren't coming over here, getting off the plane, meeting women. I don't care how young you are, how good looking you are. Stop lying to people, man. There's no shame in that, though. That's the whole point. Men lie. So if you're in America, if you're in the Philippines, wherever y'all find your heart to help somebody, not a day goes by that I don't help somebody. I'm going to help you right now. Health insurance. Michael Onstad. We try to go without health insurance over here, guys. That's a risky proposition right there. There's one thing that's going to happen. You're going to be born. You're going to grow older. You're going to get sick, and then you're going to die. You don't want to get sick over here and not have any kind of coverage. He can help you get a coverage, hassle-free, basically, with Pacific Cross. It's your money that buys it's your health that buys your health insurance, not your money. Always remember that. Over 300 or 400 hospitals and emergency rooms throughout the Philippines, 400,000 doctors. He can help you. I always put his information in my description or my comments. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. We help other people. We help ourselves. Take care. Stay safe. Stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. Don't do anything stupid. By the way, I did get Marilyn's phone fixed. 300 pesos. So I was able to spin the wheel Friday. And people was like, Cal, it's not a big deal. It is. That spin wheel means so much to my channel. That's how my channel got started. That's, people in the Philippines know my channel from that spin wheel. They don't watch my videos. Okay, but don't be stupid, man. Don't come over here trying to meet these women in person. I don't care how young you are, how good looking you are. When they want to meet a foreigner, they go online. Okay, that's where they go. That's the best place for them. They don't go to the mall. They don't go to the nightclub. They don't sit around in province waiting for you to introduce yourself. That's bullshit. And the guys who are telling you that, they've met their women online. But they want you to think, oh, I'm this big bad guy. I'm this alpha male. I don't need the dating site. Yeah, you need it over here because she's not going to be able to vet you properly. She's not going to ask you the questions she needs to ask you properly when you all up in her face. And they don't want you running up in their face. You 63 on a damn walker. Smelling like a soybean junior. And everything else that's wrong with us when we get over here. Show the women some respect. Do it discreetly online, guys. That's where they at. Okay? That's where they are. Sorry for my English.